Hi and welcome to the SimHanger. Today we're talking air traffic control. If you use any of the online flying platforms such as Vatsim, IVAO or Pilotedge, and particularly if you're new to it, it can be quite confusing as to which air traffic controller you contact and when. Well, today we're going to be looking at the different types of controllers, who they control and what they control. With the holidays upon us, I hope you don't mind the suitably festive background. Don't forget to tap the bell for future notifications. Thanks. Let's start off then with a quick overview of the air traffic control positions, starting at the airport and working outwards. Departures is responsible for giving you clearance against your flight plan. Ground control is responsible for the movement of all aircraft to and from the terminal and along the taxiways. Tower controls the runway, movement on and off the runway, as well as landing and takeoff clearance. Approach control deals with incoming aircraft from fixed arrival points or vectors and brings them for line-up for an approach to the runway before handing over to tower. Approach, tower, ground and departures are all specific to an airport. Centres, on the other hand, are very different in that they control a multitude of different airports because the area that they cover is much larger and much wider. Centres are responsible for the movement and control of all air traffic within their areas. London Control, for example, would cover the whole of the UK, although often centres are divided into smaller areas to make traffic more manageable for the controller. So we have London South Centre, North Centre, West Centre, and so on. Let's take a look at air traffic control in a little bit more detail, starting off with departures. Departures doesn't control the movement of aircraft around the airport, but the pilot will have filed a flight plan and departures will be responsible for giving him clearance against that flight plan, and it will sound something like this.
Gatwick departure, good morning. Speedbird 134, type Airbus 320. With you, stand 21 with information echo. Request clearance to Schiphol, Amsterdam.
Speedbird 134, good morning. Information echo is correct. QNH 1023, you're cleared on the Clacton 5 Papa departure. Runway 08 right, initial altitude 5,000 feet. Contact ground on 121.9 for push and start. Once departures have issued you with your flight clearance, you'll be handed over to ground control for pushback and start.
Gatwick ground, Speedbird 134, stand 21, ready for push and start.
Speedbird 134, push and start approved, face west.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass has been removed.
Ground control is responsible for all the aircraft movements at the airport, to and from the apron and especially along the taxiways, and will lead you to a holding point which is indicated in the diagram by the red circles, at which time it'll hand you over to tower. If there's no departures online, then ground control will assume the responsibilities of departure and issue clearances directly to the aircraft. Once you've handed over to tower, he will then indicate when it's clear to enter the runway and issue the necessary takeoff clearance.
Gatwick Tower, Speedbird 134, holding short, Juliet 1, runway 08 right, ready for departure.
Speedbird 134, cleared for takeoff, runway 08 right. Speedbird 134, climb and maintain 5,000. Contact London Centre on 129.42.
Climb and maintain 5,000, contact centre on 129.42, Speedbird 134.
That was Tower handing over to Centre Control, and Centre Control will now guide the aircraft along its pre-planned flight route before handing over to another ATC controller as it exits its area. By visiting websites such as Vatsim and IVAO, you can get a lot of information in terms of what sectors are covered by air traffic control and what the call signs are. In addition, you can find links to a lot of information that's very useful, such as airports, standard instrument departures or SIDs, as well as standard terminal arrival charts or STARs. Returning to the air traffic control positions, if there's no departure, then ground can cover for departure, but it can't cover for tower. Tower can't cover for approach, but it can cover for ground and departures, and so on. So Centre can cover all ATC positions. Approach can cover any position that is lower than it is, so it can cover tower, ground and departure, and so on. So far we've talked mainly about outbound, going from the airport out. On the return leg or inbound leg to the airport, things work very much the same, but just in reverse. Centre will hand you over to approach.
Hello, Amsterdam approach, Speedbird 134 with you, flight level 220, inbound Redford.
Once handed over to approach will direct you towards the airport and line you up for an approach to the runway, and then hand you over to tower. Speedbird 134, you're cleared to land, runway 06, no delay.
Thank you. Cleared to land, runway 06, Speedbird 134.
Once you've landed on the runway and slowed, tower will direct you off the runway and then hand you over to ground control. Ground control will issue you taxi instructions to your parking bay or gate. So there we are, guys. That's the basics of ATC, the ATC positions and what they cover, and I hope you found it useful. Well guys, I recently dug deep and got myself an RTX 2080 Ti. So coming up will be a head-to-head between my GTX 1080 and the new RTX 2080 Ti on prepared version 4.4. Be interesting to see how it measures up. Also coming up will be a review of the Orbix Carina Airport Pack, 3 airports in 1. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell, and I'd like to get your comments on what you think about the RTX 2080 Ti and its exorbitant price. Thanks for now. See you soon.